In our first story, customers of the Electricity Company of Ghana who are having to endure a recent deterioration in power supply will now have to continue to find a way around the unpredictable nature of outages.
This is because the ECG says it does not have enough information on the extent of the problem and how long it will last. The Ministry of Power has blamed the problem on a deficit in supply, resulting primarily from lack of gas from Nigeria to fuel key thermal plants. At a news conference on Monday, Head of Public Relations at the Electricity Company of Ghana, William Boateng, said they would want to monitor the situation for about 3 weeks.
We've been told that we have some challenges with generation. I don't want to go into details because it is not my area. We are downstream. The upstream, that's where the generation companies are. We've had the last meeting. They are giving us an update on the situation. If it will prolong, definitely we'll talk to authorities and we'll prepare something. But if it is temporal and is and it's just it's transient or it's temporal, it means that we have to hold on and give ourselves some time.
But it seems that it's not the first time it's happening. A lot of the time when there are issues, there seems not to be time.
What is a lot of the time? You know, the load shedding came to an end around December. Then in between December and now we're having some challenges in between. You hear of FSOP, shutdown for maintenance, and so on and so forth. Yes, then we're going to set challenges. Then there will be this gas not flowing. They will go to similar challenges. And we are saying that as we speak now, we have been hinted that we are having similar challenges. And then they should give us some time. If it will prolong, of course, we'll come out with some time. But for now, we are sure it is temporal. So give us some time.
Where prolonging means what?
Oh, where the projection is as if about the next 3 weeks or 1 month, we can draw something out. There's no big deal. We have been doing this this is not the first time we've come out with this.
Beyond this, we know that last week the ECG workers started disconnecting some government institutions, and government came out, gave a directive that they should stop. Are you able to tell us which specific government institutions owe the ECG?
No, I don't have the figures with me as we speak.
But
I don't.
Now,
but we've met them, and we are sure that they're going to carry out the exercise, being mindful of the sensitive institutions.
So as of now, which government institutions that owe you are you thinking?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've told them what to disconnect and what not to disconnect. Thank you very much.
Well, there's something good though, because your supply may become erratic as it is, but the electricity you use has gotten a little cheaper.
The Electricity Company of Ghana at the same news conference on Monday announced that subsidies applied to lifeline consumers will now be enjoyed by all categories of residential consumers. Director of Customer Services Daniel Ajimine also announced some relief for non-residential and industrial consumers.
Government of Ghana relief to ECG customers effective 1st July 2016. The Government of Ghana, after extensive consultation with all stakeholders of the power sector, has provided some reliefs by way of subsidies to all ECG customers. The reliefs have been applied to extend the lifeline rates to all residential customers instead of the previous application to only customers with consumption between 0 to 50 units within a month. Therefore, instead of the rate of 67 Ghana pesos per unit for the 50 units of consumption for all residential customers with consumption more than 50 units, a rate of 34 Ghana pesos per unit shall be applied. In the case of non-residential and industrial customers, some subsidies have been applied to the energy charges to reduce the total bill of such customers. Subsequently, a new reckoner which calculates the customer's total bill given the units consumed has been put on the ECG corporate website, www.ecggh.com, to inform and guide our customers on the application of the new reliefs. The reckoner will be deployed to all our regional and district offices, as well as our customer services centers, to assist ECG customers accordingly. We encourage customers who require further clarification to visit the nearest ECG customer service center for assistance.
And the Electricity Company of Ghana has persistently complained it does not get enough revenue due to low tariffs.
Well, anything that reduces the tariff should make them worse off. But energy economist at the company, Ebenezer Baden, says the company is just fine with the arrangements.
You can put a number to, or an average number to it. What we say is that if you are 0 units, there is a gain for you. If you are 50 units, there is a gain. If you are 100 units, there is a gain. So that's why we are guiding customers with a reckoner. Now the reckoner will come to explain, for example, will calculate each unit of consumption, what it was before and then what it is now.
So would you say that the non-residential areas would be, as in for the industries, would have more subsidies to enjoy as compared to the residents?
No. What it is that it was apportioned pro rata to these customers. So industry has its share, residential customers also have their share. Remember, in terms of population, residential customers are more. So that's how it's prorated.
Now, the statement that was read to us, which came from government, said that this decision was arrived at after extensive consultations with all the stakeholders. And I want to find out from you, how sustainable is this?
Okay, so the word extensive in there meant that they have also determined how it will be paid for. And that brings in the sustainability part. If you give a subsidy and you don't know how it will be paid for, that's the question. But really, if the subsidy comes and then there is a clear mechanism to pay for it, then really sustainability requirements are met.
Are you not worried that over the years people have complained about how subsidies don't help the tariffs and the fact that consumers end up paying the same thing or the real tariffs at the end of the day?
Okay, so you see, sometimes subsidies come through pressure groups and all that. Perhaps once these decisions are being made, the mechanism hasn't been put together to identify how it will be paid for. It will have to go through budgetary mechanisms and all that. But once you identify, for example, I can give a very easy example. If, for example, the gas price of today is to be reduced, it means generation costs have gone down. And it's a way where subsidies can be obtained from. So there are so many ways of doing this. And then the consultation had to brainstorm and then come up with a mechanism for this to be addressed.
What would you say to those who would say that government owes you a lot of money, and instead of giving subsidies to consumers, why won't government pay your debt so that ECG will be efficient for everybody?
Okay, so this subsidy or relief we are talking about, the mechanism doesn't come on the government space. So there are two different type of arrangements that government is dishing it out from its space to support the customer.
Commercial drivers at the Sofo Line terminal in Kumasi have vowed to maintain their stay at the bus terminal.
The Sofo Line Drivers Association on Monday resisted attempt by the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to evict them. The eviction, according to the KMA, is to make way for the terminal to be redeveloped. Our colleague Erastus Asari Donko has more.
This localized terminal has become a subject of controversy and dispute between commercial drivers and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. The drivers have engaged in various demonstrations protesting what they describe as the Assembly's forced takeover of a land they have developed and initiated moves to acquire from the Lands Commission. Early today, KMA Security backed a contractor to deposit heaps of laterite at the terminal to shut the commercial drivers out. The drivers responded by putting on red. chanting songs and expressing their readiness to resist any move to kick them out. Some were visibly angry. We met the KMA at the Lands Commission and they said Las Palmas has expressed interest, and the commissioner said we drivers are also occupying the land. We fixed a date to go back on the issue, only for them to do this. We will also bring caterpillars to move the laterite. The drivers spent the whole morning staying idle on the land. Chairman of the Sofoland GPRTU, Akwesi Buama, said the KMA's move will not stop them from operating from the terminal. They brought armed military men in the morning, numbering about 8. They thought we would resist, but we were waiting till daybreak. But now they are gone. We are going to see the Lands Commissioner. When we come back, we will move all the laterite. The Lands Commissioner gave us the land. We have started processing. We have the cadastre. Even if they want to sell the land, we should be the first to be given the opportunity. We opened our request about 1.5 years ago. The Lands Commissioner told the KMA in front of us in our last meeting, point blank, that they cannot sign any memorandum of understanding with us because he gave us the land. We have filed all our documents at the Lands Commission. We are waiting. We will not move from this land. We will keep operating from here. The KMA will not immediately comment, but the drivers have resolved to start work tomorrow, waiting for another action by the Assembly.
Well, the Kumasi Traditional Council is demanding the dismissal of the mayor of Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu.
Tension has been mounting between the two, but the feud came to a head when the mayor last month wrote to the local government minister questioning the locus of the chief of Amuaman, Nana Ajeni Boateng, who was designated as a representative of the council on the committee overseeing the KJTIA redevelopment project. The council criticized Mr. Bonsu of acting disrespectfully, and after a meeting on Monday announced it would not work with him and is demanding his resignation. Otumfo Chiame Kweku Wusu is the chief linguist for the Asantehene.
A careful look at the government setup shows that Ashantis are not well represented in government. Now a decision has been taken that Honorable Kojo Bonsu should vacate his position as the Chief Executive Officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. I agree with that, and we are looking forward to have a true Ashanti blood who is widely accepted by the traditional authority take over as the Chief Executive Officer and lead the metropolis with honesty. It is very disappointing, the status of Kumasi today. It is a shame when you drive through the Kumasi township. So we are looking forward to have the new Chief Executive Officer who will hopefully put the Ashanti first.
Parliament on Monday passed a bill that could, to a large extent, protect depositors from losing their funds should the bank they are with or the financial institution holding their deposits also collapse.
The passage of the Depositors Protection Bill 2015 also paves way for the establishment of the Deposit Protection Fund, from which victims of collapsing banks would be compensated. Finance Minister Seth Terkper says the bill is to avert a recurrence of the recent microfinance bust in which several depositors lost millions of cedis after the collapse of companies such as DKM. Elton Bobe is our parliamentary correspondent.
The impact of the DKM microfinance scam is still fresh on the minds of depositors who are still struggling to come to terms with a ripoff. Officials say the Depositors Protection Bill 2015, which was passed in Parliament today, will go a long way in preventing the recurrence of the scandal. Bank depositors, including those saving with the rural and microfinance institutions, will get payoff if the President assents to the bill. The bill will also lead to the establishment of the Deposit Protection Fund, which will make funds available to pay off victims of collapsing banks. Government says the Depositors Protection Bill was enacted to prevent a recurrence of the DKM and other microfinance scandals that resulted in the loss of almost 1 billion cedis of depositors' money. Member of the Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Esibe-Yabua, tells parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe, though the package under the law is small, it is a good start.
So there's a law that in the event of the occurrence of an insured event, then customers will have some fallback. But we shouldn't be so excited because the coverage, if you look at the numbers involved, this is for small-time depositors. So if you have, say, 1 million Ghana cedis in a bank and the bank folds up, you're not going to get 1 million Ghana cedis. You'll get up to 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Out of your million Ghana,
yes,
only 5,000?
Exactly. So it is geared at protecting small-time depositors. Now, for a savings and loans, rural bank or microfinance institution, then you get up to 1,000 Ghana cedis in return.
So why put...
Finance Minister Sek Tepe says government will study the management of the funds under the bill to improve on the insurance package.
When events happen, like the DKM and others, then you are assured that you will be reimbursed, not necessarily to the full amount, but at least you will recover a certain amount. So if the insurance is up to, say, 100,000, it means that anybody whose deposit is below 100,000 will be fully, reimbursed if it qualifies. Those whose deposits are above 100,000, say Ghana cedis, will be reimbursed up to 100,000 Ghana cedis. The bank itself may take. And this is a protection which central banks put in place. The reason is often referred to as small depositors, insurance, is that the limit often caters for, it envisages that the limit will cater for the majority, of small depositors.
In a separate development, Parliament's Legal, Constitutional and Parliamentary Committee is beginning consideration of an instrument to amend the Constitution to enable the EC hold general election in November instead of December. The Council of State today submitted to the House its advice on the issue.
And that's it for the news this morning.